Salemakers la mette in mezzo, bella tiro, gol! Luka Modric, ha segnato Luka, ecco il gol del maestro, ha segnato Luka Modric, meraviglioso!
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the SempreMilan podcast. I'm your host today, Anthony Torgrud, joined by the captain of the B team, the current A team co-star, Stefano. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Thank you. I like the intro. I not to be horrible. I think I've always skipped the intro. It's good to see that you got these. We've gone levels now. We've got Modric now as part of the audio.
I thought it was pretty loud just now. I don't know what it was, but with my headset, it was like way louder. It kind of scared me.
But I was in the stadium.
I even pressed play. Yeah, that was nuts.
No, yeah, good to be part of the pod. It's been a while. Yeah, man. Captain of the B team, trying to get promoted. Probably.
Yeah,
but,
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
good?
yeah. Some complaints, not too many. You know, I got a few complaints. We'll get to a couple of them on the when we get to the game review. But yeah, Ollie obviously isn't here. He had a family obligation for today, so he's out. To be honest, we didn't even talk to Madison about doing the podcast. So originally it was going to be in the morning, which he can't do. And then there was a lot of last minute switching around. And so this is where we landed. So yeah, appreciate Steph stepping up here. He just did the pub chat literally right before this, came from that studio to this one. So check that out. We owe him that at the very least. As for the Substack founding members, they are strolling across the bottom of the screen. This is a new change from last week because there's just so many of you now. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. As new come in, we will announce them. But for now, all the names are scrolling across the screen. But yeah, that's it. So dive on into it. Juventus 0-0. We're not top of the table anymore.
We are in spirit. We are in spirit. That's pretty cool. There's some familiar names down there as well. So yeah, big shout out to Substack members. Yeah, so look, I think there's a lot to obviously go through a game that's 0-0, which is bizarre when you think of it that way. But I think going into the game, obviously with an incredible win against Napoli, I would have taken a draw. Juventus had injuries, not denying that, but you know it's a game. It's a big game of the season away from home. They are obviously going into it, I think, with more pressure than us, if anything, because of drawing so many games recently for them. And whether you look at the team that's out of form or in form and that should be winning a game or not, they're the home side. And going into it, I was expecting a side that obviously Juventus scoring a lot of goals. You know, they put 4 against Inter Milan, they put 4 against Dortmund, they put even like scored 1 against Atalanta the other day, and I think they scored 2 against Villarreal. So they can score goals. So I was kind of thinking, okay, how are they going to play this game? But I think coming out of it, obviously, I know we're disappointed and we'll come on to why, but I'm actually quite impressed on how we played and how we neutralized their attack with our defense, and how we probably should have won the game. And any other day, we would have won that game, which is, you know, in a big game like this, we don't traditionally come away as just being the favorites, as I think we were in that game. So yeah, I mean, should we cover the first half, and how do you boys usually do it when it comes to the podcast? It's been a while.
We just do this. We just talk about it. So we'll go chronologically, but start with the overview. I mean, you're right. This is their 5th consecutive draw, and in that run, they've conceded eight goals. They've also scored 8 goals because draws. So it's one of those things where you expected a goal. You know, you didn't know which team it was going to be. Like you, if you had asked me before the game started, would I be okay with a draw away to Juventus? Unequivocally, yes. You know, that's always a result you take. And it's one we've achieved a lot, actually, in the last couple of years. Unfortunately, a lot of 0-0s in there, a lot of boring games. But this one felt like there was just that extra gear to it. Like you said, they've scored a lot of goals. So you assume that they're going to find the net at least once. And they've conceded a lot of goals, and we've scored a lot of goals. So you assume we're going to find the net at least once. We knew Leao had a few more minutes in his legs, so you have that added into it. Santi finally broke his duck, so you think, okay, maybe he's getting back. And Nkunku had a crazy goal for his first goal, so you think, okay, maybe he'll get one. Christian Pulisic's been in incredible form, so you think he's going to continue that. And then, it just didn't happen, and that's okay. That's how it comes sometimes. It's frustrating because we did have chances, as we'll get to. We can start with the first half. I'm going to throw this on screen here for everyone now.
Nice.
That's from the game. Possession damn near 50-50. It's 51-49 for Juventus. So, possession, the way they calculate that, it's a little unique. It's the percentages of the passes completed. It's not necessarily the time that you are in possession of the ball, which is odd. But regardless, 50-50. It was a very even game. I would say that's indicative of how it felt watching it as well. Maybe I would say Juventus had more control in the second half, probably. But the XG, this is the interesting one, right? 1.74 to us to 0.68 for them. Obviously, the biggest amount for us comes from a penalty, which we'll get to. That was late in the game, in the second half. But first half, what key moments did you have?
Yeah, I mean, key moments. Not a lot of bits where we can say there was much from a goal scoring perspective. I think both sides were kind of trying to see each other out, not giving too much away. I did kind of expect that, considering Allegri, and I kind of wanted that, considering I just wanted the consistency in the shape and not allowing them to score early. Juventus obviously were having some issues with like who was playing. Rugani and other players like who they wouldn't traditionally call upon. Obviously, they're probably very worried to concede, so they were quite reserved in how that they played. I think the Jonathan David, I don't know what he did, tripped over his own feet. I think that was in the first half, if memory serves me well.
Yeah, I think so.
And then there were some moments. I really like the Jimenez run when he kind of picks the ball up and drives and cuts across the left side and gets a shot off, which goes straight at Di Gregorio. But there were a few kind of like could be half chances, but nothing much was happening. I think Fofana got booked towards the end of the first half as well. But it was very cagey. Not much was happening, which from my opinion was fine, because I think we respond really well in the second half, and that's where in my head was, okay, we can start to use the bench now, and where Leao can probably come into it and add some importance. But yeah, from the first half, I didn't come away with much. There wasn't much for us to digest, I think, other than just, okay, we've not conceded. That's great.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty even match. I mean, throughout, but definitely in the first half, we should have went a goal down from that David chance. I mean, it was on a silver platter. That if he scored that, I don't think anyone would have been mad at Mignon for letting it in, right? It was point blank, and he just slipped. It's a stroke of luck for us that started to make me think, will we regret not scoring later? And obviously we did, but it was one of those moments where you think, okay, we have a chance here. It's not going right for them. It's got to go right for us. And obviously it didn't, which is okay, because they had other chances later in the game as well that we'll get to. But there was a moment that you mentioned with Jimenez. Great run, and I believe he had Pulisic out wide on the right, but he decided to cut inside, and I actually think it was the right decision to do it. It opened up space. He got in a good angle, and it was a really good shot. It just happened to be right at Di Gregorio, which you could argue that makes it a bad shot or not, but at least it was on target. Other shots weren't, which we'll get to. But it looked like, okay, maybe he is finding that form. He's having a moment here, and he had another chance later in the game, I believe the second half, but it was a glancing header from an incredible Pavlovic cross. And again, everything about it was correct. It just went
that was the other. Sorry, that was the thing I was thinking about. I think that was in the first half as well.
Was it? Okay. Yeah.
Because I was looking at the TV screen. It was on the right side.
Yeah. Yep.
So that was a crucial moment. Yeah. Completely right about Santi Jimenez. Whereas I think the shot was the right thing to do, and rather than kind of look for the passing option, because I like the confidence of him driving with the ball and making defenders actually have to guess what they're going to do. And then secondly, it was on his left foot, which is a stronger foot. So I thought it makes sense to get that shot off and just see what happens. You never know, deflection, or if he hits it true, then it could be a goal. Or keeper can make a mistake as well. So you don't shoot, you don't score. But that header, I mean, Pavlovic with another sort of big piece of attacking contribution where it's kind of odd to think about someone who's like taking free kicks for us now and like driving into the box like a rhino. And, it puts up a picture of a cross and it's everything about it. Like the cross comes in, great weight to it. Santi gets a header on it, which has got, gives it enough, but obviously not too much to make it to go, completely over the bar, but gives it enough to cushion it on. And you see the replay, man. It's obviously like whiskers away from the post, but that was probably the best chance from like an actual shot from the first half. You take away Jonathan David's situation, he didn't actually do anything with the ball, but the best chance of a shot directly on goal probably could have been an actual goal. I reckon came down to that header.
I would say so. I think it was one of the few. I mean, you see, we only had 4 shots on target. I guess the header technically wasn't on target, but the one where he rounded or not rounded keeper, but you know what I mean, broke through. That was the only one that was in the first half, at least. The other two, no, the Liao one wasn't on target, was it? I don't think so.
No. The second one was, but the first one wasn't.
Right, the second one, and that should have been a game winner.
But I mean, if you look at these stats, basically, we're saying that Milan created a lot of chances. They did, but it's just the shots went wayward.
Right? Yeah. I mean, the stats really show an extremely even game. The difference is the corners. That means their
huge.
shots were either getting deflected out with luck, or the way Mike was getting there for the save. But ours, for whatever reason, we didn't have a single corner the entire match. That's pretty rare, and I don't know if that made like a huge impact on the outcome of the game. Probably not, but it is one of those weapons in your repertoire that's just immediately removed because you have to create those, and if you're not, then it's never going to come.
It's kind of like it's a weird one because, like, I mean, also I think it's the fact that we're defending really well from corners as well. 6 corners for them, and I can't remember a single one of them that actually led to anywhere near a goal scoring opportunity. So I think we come leaps and bounds from set pieces defensively, and then in attack, it's almost as if like our chances were either landing and we were getting a shot that went wayward, so basically leading to a goal kick, or nothing really materialized from it. So recycled back into possession for Juventus or equally for ourselves. So did we test Di Gregorio enough? I think is probably the answer. And I don't think we did because of those chances that didn't go on goal. Let me turn my light on quickly before I'll let you crack on.
Dark. Dark. So we're that's basically everything that happened in the first half. There wasn't a whole lot else after that. When we started the second half, things kind of started in our favor, right? There was almost immediately Locatelli gets a yellow card, which wasn't that big of a change in the dynamic of the game, but it's nice to see a card going the other way. At this moment, we had only had a card for Fofana, and it seemed like the fouls and then all the calls were really just going in Juventus's favor. There weren't a whole lot during the game, and I actually don't think it was terrible refereeing for once. I feel like we've had pretty bad in the last couple games this season, but overall this was decent, and it culminated into a penalty call where Modric, again, incredible ball over the top, right to Santi Jimenez, actually finds the target even as after he was fouled. You see him down on the ground in the box, and somehow the ball still hits his head and is almost a shot on target. If that would have went in, I don't know if they would have counted or not because they had already pointed for the penalty, but kind of funny.
Probably let it play out maybe if I don't know. But no, that ball was stellar. Santi as well with a great run as well. Great, he also needs to kind of like do his part in that. And does really well to kind of use, I think Gatti or Rugani, one of the two is the centre back that keeps him on side because obviously he's running ahead of Lloyd Kelly. Fantastic ball and really good run from Santi. And for me, some people think it was a soft penalty, but I think it's a penalty, man. You cut like trip someone up from behind.
Yeah, I mean,
intentional or not.
You can make the argument last man. It's obviously a goal scoring opportunity, right? I mean, you're in the box. It's the last man. Like there is an argument that it should have been a red card. I do think the challenge itself is soft. And if you make that challenge and it's a foul outside of the box, you probably don't get carded. So I don't have too big of an issue with it not being one. But, if anyone wants to make the argument that it is a red card, like I would listen to that argument. I thought it was an opportunity. Is Santi going to score it? We'll never know. Based on the rest of the season, probably not, but anything could happen. And then when you line up for the penalty with a guy like Christian Pulisic, who has only missed one penalty in his entire career, and it was actually a save. It wasn't even a miss. You're almost positive this is going to be a goal, right? And all of a sudden, I caught it when he was lining up before the referee blows the whistle to give him, permission to shoot. He takes a step like he's about to, and then he looks over to his left as if he heard something or he's double checking. And I think in that split second moment, he just lost focus. And then he just skies it. And I mean, that was when I knew we weren't scoring. For me, I know it was early in the second half, but I looked at Bader, who was at the bar with me, and we just had that look like this is one of those days.
Yeah.
Like you miss the David slip, and then you miss a penalty like that, and it's not going to go your way. You were given an opportunity, and we squandered it because at this point, we didn't have the lion's share of the chances. This was obviously the clearest chance of all of them because it is a penalty, and I don't know what the conversion rate is, like 80% of penalties are scored or something like that, maybe a little less, I don't know, but what was your reaction?
I wasn't surprised when he missed it. Something felt a bit weird at the time. I don't know what it was. Almost if it was like too good to be true, because it's like that was like, I think that's the first penalty of the season as well. And it just felt like too good to be true. Yeah, like you said, Donovan David squanders that chance. That could have been a chance, but and to get a penalty, away at Juventus in Turin, but it just felt a bit weird, man. I don't know what it was. And then I think you're onto something with the run up. I'm thinking about the run up now. This is where like we do lack a kind of like a great penalty taker, and some of the best penalty takers as well. Their starting position. They start central and kind of like, okay, if I'm right footed, I'll kind of go and curl and work my way in, but it gives the keeper no point of reference from a starting spot. And I kind of feel like I would wish like Pulisic could add that to his kind of to his arsenal of being an overall well-rounded player. Not to say he's horrible at penalties, because obviously only 2 misses isn't a lot, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to put too much on him because he's been so good this season. It did feel like obviously a massively wasted chance, and it was, regardless if we think of it or not.
It absolutely is.
I mean, the overall game was, to be honest, and it's not just him, which we'll come on to, but
and I do give him grace because of, like you said, he's been in such crazy form this season. It's not like Santi, who's been missing a lot, and then you just it piles on it, right? He's been that guy this season. So you're going to miss a chance at some point. It's a shame that it was a game that ended 0-0, and it was essentially a game-winning opportunity, right? And so you do got to call it out, but ultimately, like, he's got money in the bank, right? I give him a pass for now, but I went back and looked because we had posted something on the Milan data tweet. It said since the start of 2024, Milan have failed to score in 7 of their 13 penalties in Serie A, which is the highest percentage among the top 5 leagues. So what I did was I went back and looked from that time period, from the start of 2024, and I did all comps, not Serie A, because honestly, I misread the tweet when I did this. But regardless, we had 6 different penalty takers.
We
had Benacer.
Say, I bet you I can name them all, but like, and then we caught. I mean, Teo, Tammy, Pulisic. Who else has taken them and missed? I'm just trying to think. Santi obviously missed one against Napoli, I think, away from home last year.
There's one more, and big player for us.
Big player for us.
Won the Scudetto.
Bloody hell. Oh, Ibra.
Close. His counterpart. It was Giroud.
Oh, Giroud. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. He so Benacer took 1, scored it. Teo took 3, scored 1. Giroud took 5, scored 4, which is pretty solid conversion. Santi 0 for 1, Tammy 1 for 2, and then Puli 4 for 6. And that's including the one yesterday. He has scored against Di Gregorio in the Super Cup. He did that this year.
He did.
So,
he did.
It wasn't unprecedented to have him take it. And I do think he is a good penalty taker. I think
Yeah.
the issue with this is you can't have 6 different people taking a penalty in
Agreed.
a 1 year span. That's
Yeah.
too many.
Agreed.
When you look at our list of players on the squad right now, I think Puli is obviously the guy for penalties. I think it
I would
makes
say
the most
so.
sense right now. But if you're taking him off penalties, the only person to me that makes sense is Luka Modric.
Agreed.
If there's one person who can put the pressure and the weight on their back and do it, it's that guy. There's no one else.
Yeah. We literally just spoke about this on the pod, just kind of like, I do not want to see that like Pulisic now off penalties. I read his Instagram post after the game. It was very like sort of like, I've let you guys down. I'll work harder, and I fully believe he will, because I think his work drive is so good that he probably will be now spending extra time now taking penalties. And it's, look, don't get me wrong, man. Players miss penalties. It is what it is. Only the elite of the elite will score every single penalty, and that's impossible, near impossible. So it's like, it is one of them ones. It's a shame. I'm also curious to see, like, if he did score that, what would have happened with the rest of the game? Because would Juventus kind of come out of their shell a little bit more? And obviously they chased the game against Inter quite a lot in that fantastic game they won 4-3. And what would that have meant for us? If we had a goal up, would that have played into our favour? Because obviously we're really good on the break and perhaps create a lot of chances for the likes of Leao to carve into. So it's one of those ones that's going to always be like a what if, but sticking with Pulisic,
you're right.
He needs to stay as the penalty taker, man. So that's right. He needs to stay as the penalty taker, in my opinion. I think it does no one any favors to start moving that around and going, okay, let's give Modric the next one. It's like, well, no, hold on, let him. And I think Modric as well was intelligent enough to go, look, nah, you missed that one, you score the next. Like, you crack on, man, because I think that's the epitome of this side, hardworking, and you'll get it right next time.
Yeah, I think you're right. And it showed actually in the game. There was almost immediately after that, there was a Juventus chance that we intercepted the ball somehow. I don't remember who or how, but it got to Modric. He countered it straight to Pulisic, who was making a run, and then he crossed it in. And I don't think anyone got on the end of the cross, but he immediately went for another opportunity. He didn't cower down, and I think it shows his work rate. I do like the Instagram post. I don't think it is the most important thing to apologize for missing a penalty, but it's nice to see players hold themselves accountable, especially when you're technically in a unbeaten run. It's 5 without a loss. Like that, if you go on paper and just look at all these results, you go, oh yeah, this team's in great form. And the fact that we're discussing this game almost as a negative shows how far we've come just from week 1, let alone last season or before. So
he doesn't have to put that post out. He doesn't have to put anything out. But I think it's kind of, that's what gives me a really good feeling about this season, because there clearly is a drive to succeed. And perhaps the old versions of us would be like, like fucking Tails missed a penalty, Tammy's missed a penalty, and it goes underneath the radar, or equally we meme it and that's it. But for him to come out, despite what is probably a good result on paper, a draw away from home to Juve, and saying like, no, like, this was there, but I wanted to be up here, and I could have contributed to that performance, and that result is dividends to, I think, of the culture that's currently at the club right now. And like, they all really want to do well, and I don't think he's going to get any abuse from any of the players, but like, he clearly puts himself at that level. He wants to step up in his career. So
it speaks to his character. We've heard from players talk about how he's a bit of a silent leader in the dressing room, and this shows that silent leadership. I mean, obviously he's talking, right? So it's not silent, but it's just one of those like unnecessary things to show the fans, like, look, I'm taking this seriously. I'm not going to go out partying tonight afterwards. You're not going to see a birthday dinner post after this. Like, we didn't win this game, and I hold myself accountable, and that's pretty big from a player. It's something we haven't seen in the last few seasons. And I think the way it was handled when he inevitably got substituted off, he went up to Allegri, and Allegri like kind of grabbed him, put his head in his chest, like almost coddling him like a baby, but basically saying like, keep your head up, it happens. And that's good. I like the man management of it as well. That's something that we haven't had in a while. The last 2 managers were the opposite of that type of management. But just going back to after the penalty we missed, but then shortly thereafter, that was when Rafa came on and lost his cheek. And I think those almost were negative substitutions. I think the energy kind of died down. the work rate dropped off. And it's not because Rafa is not a hard worker. I know there's always been talk of that, but I think just watching him this game and the 40 minutes that he got against Napoli, he's not ready to come back yet. I don't think he's fully fit. And I hope he doesn't get called up to the national team for this break. I hope he gets to just keep training, stay at Milanello and work on things, because the little bit of sharpness that's missing was the difference between a brace and no goals.
Yeah.
And it's not that he isn't capable. We know that Leao is the best player on this team on his day. It's just his day is not here yet because he's still not fully fit. And if he has to sit out, I actually don't have a problem with Pulisic and Santi starting the next match against Fiorentina, if that's the case. In this game, while Santi missed 2 big chances, he actually looked better than he has the rest of the season, I thought.
Yeah.
And when he came off, the build up, the movement, his off the ball work was missing, and it was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
When Nkunku was on, it was like we were down a man.
Yeah.
And maybe that was instruction from Allegri of like, hey, let's hold this draw because they're going to push. There was a moment when Tudor took off. I don't remember who it was, but one of their defenders and put on another attacking option. It was later in the game. Rugani came off. Yeah. And I said, oh no, they're going to go for this. And we held tight. So maybe it was just, that was instruction. Don't get too crazy. Take your chances if they're there, but sit back. And maybe that's the case and I'm wrong. And then okay, whatever. But
no, it's no, I completely agree with Leao. I think we were just saying about like he's not even had 90 minutes in the season so far. I mean, he had like 30 against Napoli and I don't know, another like sort of 40.
Yeah, about 30 or something like that.
Yeah, about 30 against Juve. So yeah, the 2/3 of the game. I'm not going to beat him over the head just because he's obviously missed some key chances. That first one that dropped into him from I think a Pulisic cross as well, which obviously gets past Loftus-Cheek, who kind of does nothing with it, but it lands perfectly to him, who's on the right side of the goal from a goal facing perspective, but then on his left foot, and he kind of drags it wide. But with obviously, it's an easier chance from a goal scoring perspective because the keeper's having to go across goal, so he's not from a standing central position, and equally the defense as well is trying to shift, and it's panicky, it's erratic, so anything can happen. It could deflect off a body and go into the goal, etc., etc. So for me, that was probably the best chance of the game because how close it was to the goal. And there's hindsight's obviously 2020, but like if that lands to a left-footed Santi Jimenez, does he put that away? First touch, bang, inside the foot, or hits it strong. Whereas Leao, not on his natural foot, and obviously not fully fit. But I think he comes on because of the whole. It's Leao. He could win us that game. The story. I think the story could have equally been why did Leao not come on any sooner? And
right, yeah.
We just don't know what happened at that point. But
it was the right move to bring him in. I just don't know if he was ready for it. But obviously, you do bring him in this game. 0-0, you have a game changer like Leao on the bench. You bring him in. Hindsight's 2020 to say, okay, maybe he's not ready. But in that moment, the ball falls to him perfectly. But I think because it was on the wrong foot for him, he almost lets it settle behind him a bit. Like it takes a strange bounce, and maybe he's just caught off guard, and everyone else was too. It was like, and we'll get to the miracle save from Mike, but it was similar to that, to where there was like this moment of the whole world's just frozen, and they're thinking, what's happening here?
Like, surely you must have buried that,
and I thought it went in too. Like visually, it was hard to tell. I was like, wait, was that in? Was that not? And then it wasn't.
Big chance. Yeah, we probably need to rewind backwards because we have missed the Gatti chance, haven't we? Which I think that was before the penalty.
Oh, was it? Wow, I thought it was later. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I didn't even know what the fuck I was watching when I saw it. I was just like, what the hell has just happened? That for me probably will go down as probably the best save of the season. If not maybe top 3. I mean, obviously that's without knowing what's to come, but incredible instant reaction save from a keeper that obviously Mike's fantastic and we know the bar's up there, but like we can criticize him from his near post shot saving and other things as well. Obviously going down injured a lot, but that was as good as a reaction save you'll ever see. In your life. Incredible,
if we renew him at the price that he had originally asked for, that one save makes it worth it. honestly, for me. Even if this is a 0-0 draw, when that save was made, I said exactly what you said. I said that save of the season guaranteed.
Yeah.
I don't see anything beating that. The only way that would have been sweeter is if we ended up winning the game, and then we could say Mike won us this. He was immediately the man of the match for me, which, spoiler alert, but I don't think anyone will be shocked to hear that. That was such an incredible save. We should have went behind right there. We should have lost the game right there, but Mike kept us in it. And that's what hurts more to make the penalty miss and the Rafa misses. It was like between the David miss and that save, you think we have to get this done. Like, the gods are smiling on us, and yet it was a half smile. They almost did it. It was, that was incredible.
I was watching someone do a recap on the game, and they were basically saying that like Gatti should have done better, or like you're that close and he has to score. I'm sorry, but like that's like fucking God, like pulling out an arm out of nowhere and being like bang. Like I don't see it that way, man. I think like Gatti got a great, you're going to come to him on a half volley, hits it true. He's a defender as well. Like, I mean, you're asking for perfection if you think you can intercept what Mike's about to do there, which is one of the best saves. None of us, or most professionals, wouldn't be able to make. Obviously, it's very reactive, and it just makes his body big.
And it is a save. It's his hand that hits it. I thought maybe it just hit him in the face and it was lucky, but no, it's his hands. You can see him paw to it.
It's man, incredible. Yeah, insane save, mate. Insane save. And then so we carry on a little bit forward. So probably the next big chance after that was obviously we fast forward. We had the penalty. Leao's missed the left-footed chance at the back post, and then Modric then puts through Leao with a really delicious ball through kind of through the center defenders. He timed his run really well, very similar to Santi as well, making sure he gets ahead of the defender. And then I guess this one I'm not so critical about, because it's almost as if the ball was it's going away from goal.
Yeah, it's a tight angle.
Again, if he's a bit fitter, he hits it true, and it's a better shot on target. He still gets a shot off on target. Obviously, test Di Gregorio, but not to the extent that we'd love to see. But it was a good chance just because of the nature of like an open play effort, which has come from a great Modric assist. But do you think he could have done better on this goal? Shot.
Yeah, I mean, could he have done better? Absolutely. It was again slightly behind him. I don't know if it was wrong-footed. I can't remember which foot it fell to. I think it was. I think it was on his left foot at first.
No, well, he shoots it with his right, but I need to recap the actual shot. But like,
I'd have to go back and watch. But
I think he kind of like gets it in his drive, and you can see him look up at the keeper. Obviously, he's going to hit it sweet, but
and someone gets a foot to it, right? Rugani makes a save. Is that who it was? Someone gets in front of it. I don't recall who. And there was a follow-up shot.
Yeah,
but that was also blocked.
Oh, Loftus-Cheek, isn't it? Loftus-Cheek, I think, as the follow-up. Yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's another shot that should go in. He's had very similar chances and runs to that. Obviously, pre-Modric, but he scored those. He scored it last season. I think it was against Napoli, wasn't it? It might have been. I can't remember. There's been so many games now, but he's done it before. He scored this exact chance. So it's again, it's frustrating. It's not an easy shot. It wasn't a wide open net. He didn't slip on the ball right in front of an open goal. So, he gets a little bit of grace. He's played less than 90 minutes all season. So it's one of those games where it may not have fell in our favor, but we didn't do anything wrong. I think I think some of the subs in hindsight panned out poorly, but they were the right subs to make. I don't think Allegri got the game plan wrong. I think all the coaching was correct. I think the movement was correct. Obviously, there were bad passes, bad touches, and dispossessions, but that's just football. That happens. But I don't think the players did anything wrong outside of not scoring.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those games. It's hard to pick out a negative, even a flop, but yet we don't have a win to talk about. It's odd. It's a very odd moment.
Yeah, look, I think it's. I thought Allegri managed the game really well. Like I actually think the subs were fine. Interesting, he only used 3 out of the 5. I think he kind of rolled the dice a little bit with Nkunku for Pulisic, kind of thinking like, the kid's obviously got talent. Pulisic has missed a penalty, not to say that he's come off because of that, but it's almost as if going like, I'll give this a go. Could work, never yet to try out Nkunku and Leao. This could be a very dynamic pair that maybe on another day would have threatened if they were both fully fit. And I thought the Leao sub, we would be arguing if it didn't happen sooner that, why wasn't he on sooner then? Right. So, and then Loftus-Cheek comes on for a booked Fofana, which made total sense as well for me. So
yeah, he was booked.
I think the subs were fine. I just think Juventus made this very cagey, and we didn't help that either because we were very strong in our structure. Not a lot of chances were going to happen because of that and because of their approach to the game. I think our approach is always going to be that way. It was a question mark was, were they going to be as open as they have been so far this season? And they clearly saw us as a serious threat because of the games we've won and the Napoli game, that they were like, no, hold on, we're missing Bremer. I think, Bremer didn't play. So we're missing Bremer. So we're missing the focal point to our defense. So we're going to have to play Gatti, Rugani, Kelly, and Kalulu, and basically like make this as secure as possible with Locatelli in front. There wasn't a lot of space for us to navigate. I think, like you said, it just comes down to a little bit of luck, better finishing, and we win this game. And obviously, we had a bit of luck fall on our side. But outside of the Mike beat save, which is heroics in my opinion, and I don't think Di Gregorio made a save it nowhere near as close as good as that. And then equally, Jonathan David falling over his feet. Milan's chances are basically not taken because we squandered them, which should have been goals. But going back to it, it's a result before the game that I think, on the grand scheme of things, you take because it's away from home. It's Juventus, regardless of them, some of their missing players. I think we come away with it with a lot of pride in what we're doing. The 6th clean sheet out of 8 games so far this season. So we're more confident in the defense. We're confident in the performances of the likes of Pavlovic and Tomori and Gabbia. Mike now exceptionally well. Rabiot. It all starts to make sense as a core. And it's, can we get the things right now in attack and start to kind of build confidence and build some goals with the other attacking players outside of just Pulisic, which, there are some good games for that coming up. And you mentioned one, Fiorentina, where we could equally get some good goals in that game. And I am quite keen to see Rafa maybe start that game and that whole connection with him and Pulisic. So yeah, there's a lot to take away from it, despite it being just 0-0. And I know it's disappointing to some fans because we could have won. Yeah. I'm actually quite excited from it. Like even the second Rafa chance, seeing Modric put through Leao into space. There's something simple as that, and seeing Leao closer to goal. Law of averages, in my opinion, mean that he'll get more goals, and obviously he needs to work on his finishing a bit more. But let him get back to full fitness. Yeah, and I think we'll see this team continuing to be very dangerous in the league.
Yeah, I mean we're in a title race right now, and this is a result that doesn't win you a Scudetto, it doesn't lose you a Scudetto, right? The games that do that are the ones that you're supposed to win. A game against someone who is arguably also competing for that title can be it, I guess, when it comes down to the last week. But ultimately, this is one of the things that both teams are going to be happy with. And I think Juve needed to win more than we did just because we were above them.
Agreed.
When you look at the last 5 games head-to-head against Juventus, including this game, 3 of them were 0-0. So, and this was probably the best performance from us in all 5 of the games. The other one was a loss, and then one of them was a Super Cup win, which, if you recall, we won because of a Pulisic penalty. So, live by the sword, die by the sword. It's just one of those things. I guess tops and flops on this one. Top, Maignan. I don't even want to pick Pulisic as a flop, even though that probably is the most clear-cut chance. So it probably is accurate, but I'm going to put an asterisk and say I'm sorry, but I'm picking him still. Who do you have?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's hard to give someone a flop. Top, I'm trying to stop picking Salamakers and Modric for tops and flops, but not flops, but for tops. I'll probably go for, because I think I'm really happy with the stability with the rest of the side. I could edge it to Pavlovic, who I really liked. Put a great ball into the box for Santi Jimenez. But I think I'll give a little bit of credit to a player who's come in, who isn't a starter, young player. I think he got booked. I'm going to double check this.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to go for Batizaghi, which I think had a very solid game.
He
And I
did.
was just talking to Lorenzo about this. Some people are asking for him to start over Estepinian because of, perhaps there's more upside there, him being Italian, better defensively than Estepinian. Interesting now, I think with Estepinian coming back from suspension, I don't know. I think it's there is some decent competition there on the left side. It's not perfect, but I don't think there's much between them.
Yeah.
But I was happy because I thought that would be a weakness that they would look to target with the likes of Yildiz and Conceição, and I thought we did really well to neutralize that. So I'll give him it just because I'm feeling a bit generous, man. I want to give it to someone else other than just like Modric and the defense and Salamakers and Rabiot. So yeah, I'll give it to Batizaghi for top, and then for flop. Yeah, I'll probably have to go with yourself, mate. Like what you said, asterisk against Pulisic. I thought he had a solid game, but
Yeah.
you miss a penalty, man. I'm sorry, bro, but yeah.
Ironically, I think he played better than a lot of the games that he scored in, where he's putting in bad performances, but then gets a winner, and you're like, okay, well, yeah.
Exactly, man.
And on Bartazaghi, I mean, very great point. That's someone we should have mentioned when we were doing our review, because both games, when he came in against Napoli after the red card, and then this game, I thought he looked great. And the people who want him to start over Estupinian, they've got a good argument. He's done well. He could do it. And, whether he starts or not, it doesn't really matter to me. But what does matter is knowing that we have someone on the bench who is almost like for like in caliber. And they got a few differences. Like I would say Bartazaghi is better at stopping crosses, but Estupinian's better at putting them in. So, there's a little differences there. It comes down to coach decision, but it gives
a different dynamic to it, because it's like you could be, because he can play centre back, and he has kind of done that quite a lot in Futuro Primavera. And Estupinian's more of a, very much a left wing back, and I don't think we do enough to get him involved in play, but he obviously is more comfortable driving forward. I wonder if there's games where, like, as the season progresses, and if he does improve, Batazaghi, that we look towards him in games that we feel like we'll be defending a lot more, or against teams with such attacking threat. Whereas Estupinian can have his fun against the likes of, your mid-table and your bottom-table sides, because he would just be driving forward and pressing and pressing and pressing. So, I think there's some interesting piece there just to see his development throughout the course of the season. But yeah, it's tough, man, to give Pulisic a flop.
I feel bad. I hope the comments understand and we don't just get flamed for that, because he had a good game. They all had good games, but you got to pick someone. So, all right, well, I guess we'll move on to some questions, do a few quick fire ones, and then get back to work, because it's the middle of my work day right now. It's 2 p.m. here. I have a text from my boss I haven't even opened. So as soon as the pod started, I got a text from him. I said,
fuck's sake.
Just ignored it. First question. This comes, these are on the Discord from Nino. He said, with our squad, if you could choose any formation that was a 4 at the back, what would it be? Not necessarily what Allegri would want. I'm also getting a phone call that I have to answer, so
leave it with me. I'll milk this. Don't worry. So I think a 4 at the back. Look, naturally, I think 4-3-3 is tough, because 4-3-3 I think makes sense from the midfield and the defense side of it, but we haven't got enough from a winger depth position to deal with. I guess we probably could. I'm just answering my own question. I'm going to go 4-3-3. I think it's going to be 4-3-3, the best shout, because you can play Salamakers on either flank. Nkunku can play across the 3. Pulisic can play either left and right. Leao on the left, perhaps as a false 9. Santi up front. Yeah, so I'd probably say 4-3-3 is the answer to that. I kind of answered my own question whilst working it through. Because you do need to play 3 midfielders, because we've got 6 centre midfielders, and they're obviously probably our best position of the side when it comes to how stable they are. I do think, though, 4-3-3 and I know sometimes with formations you can flip it around and you can play a back 5 and it still kind of looks like a 4-3-3 in possession. But I do think having a flat 4-3-3 would turn slightly the narrative on how this midfield operates into a different way, just because of the way that the defense would kind of fit in around it as as a 5 around them. And I think we probably would see a weaker way of how Loftus-Cheek or Fofana operates, or maybe Modric might get isolated a little bit more when it comes to winning the ball back and dragged around the pitch a little bit more. So yeah, a lot of people are asking for a back four formation, but not for me, man. This formation makes total sense with this squad.
Yeah, I don't think you change it the way it is. I mean, it's working so well that it would be strange to change it. But if we did go to a 4 at the back, I think 4-3-3 is the correct answer. The only other one I would give any idea to is a 4-4-2, just so you can keep the 2 up top. But then you're really nerfing your midfield so heavily with that, and our midfield's working well. I think Fofana has become a completely different player alongside Rabiot and Modric. That you don't want to break that trio up. So yeah, I think 4-3-3 if we had to change it, but the 3-5-2 is working great right now. So stick with it. I'm happy to see that all of our forwards, whether they are attacking mids or strikers or wingers, somehow they're all fitting into that 2 up top, and they're all doing well. Obviously Rafa just come back from injury, give him some time, but we saw it in preseason. He did well. So I say keep it. Let's see. What's another question here? This one from Merlin Fink. He said, if you somehow got the power to delete 3 clubs from existence, which clubs would they be and why? That's kind of a fun one.
Looking like Thanos there. Oh my god, 3 clubs from existence. I don't know. Jeez. I don't know, like fucking Sassuolo, maybe. I don't know. I'll shove Sassuolo in there because my family's from Parma, and they're technically a rival. And God, I got PTSD from so many Milan games against them. So I wouldn't kill Inter or any good team, because I think a healthy rivalry is always good. So I'll just kill some teams that just have annoyed me in the past. So I'll go Sassuolo. I'll kill off Cagliari. And I don't know, man. Fucking hell. Probably Lazio because they're racist.
There you go. Yeah, those are good ones. I'm gonna do Sassuolo as well. I'm still scarred from that very first ever encounter, the Berardi 4 goals in one game. I'd never need to see green and black again.
Yeah.
So then the next team would be Arsenal. I'm just such a hater. Their fans bother me. I think it's so silly to put a cannon on your badge. Like, okay, tough guys. Woohoo. I'm not an Arsenal fan. Big hater. And then I'm torn between West Ham. I have an issue with West Ham because there was an interaction on Twitter with a guy when West Ham was linked with Carlos Bacca. And he had said that West Ham would be a step up for him from AC Milan. Obviously, they didn't do very well in the coming years, and then Milan went on to win a Scudetto and then performed badly. So, I don't know why that guy lives rent free in my head. I can't remember his name, but I just every time I see West Ham, I think of that moment. So I'm torn between picking them or doing something for my local team and saying eliminate the Philadelphia Union because they've beat DC United 6-0, 7-0, 5-0. I mean, they beat the shit out of us every year. So get rid of them. Those would be my 3 teams.
The power of Twitter beef. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And history teacher Steve just replied to that in the chat, and he said City, PSG, and Lazio. So shout out to Steve. He didn't explain why, but I think we could probably guess on the 3. Let's see, what other questions do we got in here? Check Twitter real quick because I think there were a few that we got. And we have one on Twitter. If you can improve the game by adding, changing, or deleting one rule, what would it be?
I would. There was this video of Mark Clattenburg saying about what you would do from a refereeing perspective. It says basically, if you time waste from a goal kick, it ends up being a corner kick to the other side. Or what was the other thing? There was something else. He basically just said, like, if you time waste from like a throw in as well, he's basically saying like any time wasting gets cut out, and then the ball gets given back to the opposition, and that corner one's very interesting.
Yeah, they're testing it in some leagues. I watched it. A Washington Spirit game. It's a women's professional team here.
Oh yeah,
and they did that. It was 8 seconds, blew the whistle, and it was a corner kick for the other team. I
Cool.
loved it. I thought it was super cool.
I think that's really exciting. Yeah, because like
Yeah.
I think that would be probably my shout. When I heard that, I was like, that's a really great shout.
I like it.
Yeah. What about you? I mean, same.
I would change the offside rule. I would do the opposite of what you want with most rules, and I would add more subjectivity to it. It's right now it's so objective with you're either onside or you're offside. But how many of those offsides is it where like so minuscule and they're nowhere near the attacker that the offside didn't actually impact the outcome at all?
Yeah.
It's not like the guy was, 2 meters away and he was already on a breakaway and no one could get to him. It was like he just beat you. He was faster than you. And I think if we, I don't know how we would make it subjective and how we would do it other than saying use your head, use discretion. But I think if we could just look at it and say, okay, was the offside actually impactful? And maybe I'm not saying it right because I haven't thought this through very well, but I would make it to where there's a little bit of leniency with it. Maybe go back in the pre-VAR days when like sometimes it was so close they didn't notice it and they just let it slide. Obviously, not every case is perfect, but that's one of the things I would change.
Yeah. I think offsides have come a bit. It's interesting, isn't it? I think it works both ways, though, isn't it? If you say, his foot's offside, you're like, it's fucking offside. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It is, I think, with increasing like the tolerance of kind of like flexibility, it's it goes down a dangerous path of being then kind of, the ref's just like, fuck it. But then that turns into all right, he's biased then.
Yeah.
Because of, I don't know, maybe a bit of dosh being sent his way. Whereas at least now I actually don't mind VAR. I don't mind it being very black and white. I just think they just need to increase the consistency of using it. And I think it's more, I think like, for example, like the Estepinian red card, that for me didn't feel like a red card. And there's always, the letter of the law. But then fine. Then why doesn't Lloyd Kelly get sent off? But like, we were talking about double jeopardy before the video, but like, I just think like, just fucking let teams play out 11v11. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see this whole 10 men shit unless someone's literally like, hacked the fuck out of the other player and it's like gone to kill him or something like that, or whatever it is. Or like slide tackle last man. The stuff we used to do on video games as like banter. If we're talking about like a shirt pull, like, come on, man, get sent off for a shirt pull is crazy. But
I think that's another thing where they got to look at it too. Like, and I don't know if it was the Stupinian one, but no, the Stupinian one I thought was definitely a penalty, definitely a foul because he pulled him back. But a lot of times when you see a shirt pull get called, the other player is also pulling on the shirt. And then the one who gets the call is whoever decides to flop first. Basically, because that's what it is. The shirt, when they're both being pulled, I mean, I guess you let go and then like a rubber band, but it's a shirt. It's not elastic. So I don't know. I think there's a bit of flopping in it, and it does benefit whoever decides that they're going to go down first. And I think when you review those, if they're both pulling the shirt, it's just got to be null and void. You just got to say, look, it's nothing. If it's in the midfield, then make it a drop ball. If it's in the box, just don't call a penalty for it, unless it's wildly egregious. But then I guess that goes back to the use your head, just common sense. Yeah.
Common sense.
We don't have enough of it. Yeah. Well, we'll wrap it up there. Almost at an hour. That's good. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming in last minute. I know we, when did we organize this? Like an hour and a half ago. So
literally,
yeah. I think you were recording the pub chat when it happened. So worked out great though. I appreciate it.
So good. Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure, man, to join it again. Apologies I couldn't join for an actual win, but good to talk it through. And look, I'm excited for this season. I've been saying to Lorenzo in a pub chat and all the other post-match videos we do, like, really excited. I'm happy to watch us play because I could sense something's there, but hopefully I've not jinxed it.
Yeah. Last game of the season, May 24th, I'll be there. We'll lift the title. So
Exactly. But good to join, man. Good to join.
Yeah. We'll be back later this week with a bonus podcast and then back again early next week with another main. Ollie should be back for both of them. If not, surprise on the cast. You'll see who's there when you press play. So tune in to find out. thank you so much to everyone who listened, and enjoy your week.